Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Just Plain Living, and I'm Just Plain John Gray.
Good morning, Just Plain John. I'm Peggy. I'm not going to be plain.
And I'm Jim Fuller. We're glad to be here today.
Yeah, we are.
Nice to be here, yeah.
Peggy just asked John a question before we went on the air, and John's been in charge over the years of everything. He's had some really important jobs where he had to make big-time decisions and all that. But when Peggy asked him a question, John says, I don't know, Peggy. I just do what I'm told. Sounded so strange coming from John.
It didn't fit, did it?
I don't know.
Well, there's time. You pick your battles in your life.
If you don't, you're in trouble. I've got to tell you.
You know, and particularly if you're married. I've been married for 38 years, and you learn when to fight and when to fall. It seems like the longer you go, the more you fall.
Well, no,
it's compromise, man.
Sure it is, and I think that's all part of growing up. You know, it's like you may not agree with your spouse about this particular thing, but you figure your mind, when you're 20, you probably would have made that a controversy. But now you sort of turn that over in your mind and say, nah, that ain't worth it. It ain't worth that. Yeah. I just go along with that.
It ain't worth that. And you grow. I think you grow together.
If you
the
don't,
longer you're
if
together,
you don't, you won't last.
No, you won't last, and it's like I said, it's compromise, and you learn what things are that important to you, and there's still some things that are that important to me, but a lot of the little stuff is just not worth the trouble.
And then when you get as old as me and you think back on some of those things, they just make you laugh out loud.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some funny stuff goes on.
It really is.
And you're right, that kind of works both ways, because now in my marriage, I've evolved to the point where Nancy doesn't ask me to do anything anymore that's trivial. Yeah. I mean, that usually if she says I need to do it, I probably need to do that.
She's just picked the ones that really matter.
Yeah.
She's smart.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, it's just like we had our second meeting at the Arts Council last week, and they were talking about, we were trying to figure out how to get people engaged in the arts, because people are so busy, and particularly our young people. Macy Marin's sitting out there in the audience, and she was talking about all the activities that young people have, and young families, and taking kids to all the stuff that they have to go to. It's hard to get people out of their regular routine and engage them into something different. And I made the statement that Fran and I have been married, like I said, 38 years, and over that 38 years, I've followed her and gone with her to many, 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 many things that I would have never chosen to go to if I were the one making the choice.
Yeah.
But I would say 95 to 98% of the time,
you're glad you're
I had a wonderful time. I was educated about something I didn't know anything about, a type of art or a type of music or something, and I was really glad that I went. And so
you feel your soul get a little bit fulfilled.
Oh yeah, because art's what fills your soul, artful type things, and music and dance and painting, and I don't paint or any of those things. Good food, yeah, that's art too. That's art too, the art of the culinary arts. I like that.
Do you cook?
I love to cook.
I think my son likes to cook.
I'm a very good cook.
Ralph cooked. I couldn't say he liked to cook. If you lived in my house, you had to learn to cook.
Well, my dad was from South Louisiana, and my mother came from a valley farm in Dixon County, and she knew country cook in Tennessee, and Granny Gray taught her country cook in Louisiana style.
A little Cajun flavor there.
Yeah, so I had a great opportunity from my mother.
You ever cook?
To learn a lot of good things.
Not much. When Jennifer, my daughter, was young, I did a few times, and she ate it. But when she grew up, she's told me that that was really pretty bad. That was horrible. And then I found out that she told Nancy one time, please don't leave me here with him. He'll cook me pancakes and they're awful. You know, and I'm thinking, how could you mess up pancakes that bad? You know?
Yeah, it's like my nephew told his mother that when I fixed him oatmeal, it was like library paste.
I was down in Louisiana one time, and I idolized my grandfather Gray. He was a big, tall man, and that's why Jacob's as tall as he is.
Is it?
Yeah, because Granddaddy Gray and his brothers were all 6'2", 6'3",
Oh, my goodness.
and he wore a boiled shirt every day. Granny'd boil his shirts in a kettle and starch them, and he'd put on a white shirt every day to farm, and khakis and a big brimmed hat, and I just idolized the guy.
You mean he put on an iron?
Not iron. They'd
Oh.
boil a shirt and hang it on the line. And,
Oh, okay.
And she might iron them. I don't know.
Oh, I
but
thought you said she ironed them. I thought, oh, man.
but he'd have a white shirt on every day, and so we're down there, and I'm about this tall, and Granny says, "What do you want for breakfast?" And Grandpa says, "Well, give me my oatmeal." And so I think, oatmeal? That's pretty good. Mama makes oatmeal, puts brown sugar and raisins and all this stuff in it. Buddy, she brought me a bowl of oatmeal out there about that big. That's like you say, you could have wallpaper pasted with it. Oh my God, it was horrible. It wasn't nothing in it but oatmeal. And guess who had to eat it?
And you had to eat it because you asked
had no
for it.
choice. Oh my God,
You
it
don't
was horrible.
leave anything on your plate.
No, not in a farm. You live in farm life. They put food out there. You're supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
That's true. And generally you will because you're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause we worked
that's
hard.
true because of working hard. But it was that was great stuff. But because of that, I learned how to cook a lot of stuff.
Good.
Some people, cooking is heating.
Right.
You get it out of a can, you put it in a pot, you heat it.
Push a button on the
Yeah, push
microwave
a
and it's
button.
done.
Some people cook and they spice and they make sauces.
That's
and
Beverly
they,
Long.
That's
She's
all the stuff
my hero
has
when it comes
its
to
own
cooking.
distinctive flavor that it's supposed to have, and that's what makes a good meal.
Because when Beverly cooks, she's got everything. She's got the root of whatever she needs. It's not in a bottle that you shake. She's got the real thing that you
Oh, yeah.
chop up, and
Really?
garlic that you peel and you chop up, and it's just a fun thing to watch her operate. She's amazing.
Well, I've got a jar of grease in my refrigerator.
So-
You know, when I cook country ham or when I cook
You
a
save the
ham,
grease?
all the stuff that's in the bottom of the pan, I pour off into a jar. So then, when I'm frying corn or
You
need
throw
to
that in
season
there.
something, you know.
You know, I'm thinking about all the grease that we ate growing up.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I mean, we had a
Goodness.
lard stand full of
Nobody-
full of
Lard.
stuff.
You know,
Full of
yeah.
it, all the way up.
Nobody knew that stuff wasn't good for
I
you
know
back
it.
then, did they?
Know it. But you know what? My dad lived to be 95. My grandfather and grandmother to be over 100. So who knows?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Well,
And they all
but
they all ate it.
But they
But they worked it off.
Two things they did. They worked from daylight till dark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything they
That's
ate,
the key, right, I
the
think.
stuff that they ate didn't come out of a grocery store. It came out of the ground, and it was blanched or pressure cooked
And you know what?
or canned
you're right.
and put into the closet. It didn't have all
The
the, chemicals
preservatives and the chemicals.
preservatives
Yeah. I
and
think
that's
stuff in
what's
there that food
killing
has.
us.
Yeah, it is.
I think
It is, but the one nice thing, I guess it's a good thing that you last a lot longer once they put you in the ground because of all the preservatives and chemicals
20 years
that
later,
you consume
why, look
in
at
your
you.
life.
Look at you, doesn't she look good? Her fingernails have grown.
But I
They do that.
I
They do
haven't.
that.
I know
Yeah, they
that's
do, yeah.
weird. Isn't that
Fingernails
spooky?
hair keeps growing.
I haven't always lived the healthiest of lifestyles. In the last few years, I try to do better. But there was a time when I'd go to the doctor for my annual physical, and I'd get the results back, and my wife would swear that they've got that mixed up. That can't be you the way you're living. You know that
You can't be that healthy.
This can't be you.
I would say the biggest thing that ruins a person's health is stress.
No, for sure.
I
Yeah.
think so. I think you can talk about all this stuff and everything, but I think stress is the big killer in this society. Partly because people don't work enough. They're doing things that stress them out. If you work a hard day's work, you're not very stressed at night. You're ready to sleep.
You're tired.
Yeah.
You don't lay in bed
So
in
that's
your mind spinning
that's
about
my
all
advice
the.
for today.
Oh yeah,
Get
yeah.
up and get a job.
Yeah, that's very important. Get a job.
Get a job.
Get a job. I read something that some lady wrote about that very thing, and she was talking about all the stuff going on in the country and all the entitlements that people feel like they deserve and all of this. And at the end of every line, she said, "To solve this problem, get a job.
Yeah.
To solve this problem, get a job. Go to work.
Go to work."
You know, so. But it's hard. It's hard to. Some things are hard to find.
It's hard, yeah. It's hard for a lot of people to find jobs. I realize that. So
You would think though that I don't want to get into that. That's
I mean, we could go on and on and
controversial.
on. Yeah.
I think if somebody shows up at the unemployment office and they're getting paid because they're unemployed, there needs to be something for them to do for that money.
I think so too.
I don't think they can go. They should be able to go in and sign in, and then go back home. You know, they need to be working somewhere.
I don't even know if you have to go to the unemployment office anymore. I think you can do that over the
send it
phone.
to
Do they come to you now?
No, no. But I think you
Give me
can.
a break.
I think you can just on the phone handle all that.
Yeah.
But you have to check in, and there is some new rules that you have to prove that you've actively been searching for work now. So you know that's changed, and I by no means mean that is anything derogatory to people that are not working, because a lot of people are absolutely doing the best they can.
Sure. But I think, you know, when the government, when we're out of money and the city's budgets and all this stuff and the state budgets are getting cut, you know, if somebody's drawing a check, then let them pick up trash 3 hours a day down the side of the road.
Come to sweep my kitchen.
Come sweep your kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't think they get to do that.
They don't get to do that?
No,
Okay.
no. They
Oh,
don't
well,
get to
we
do
probably
that.
broached some subjects
We've
we
made
need
all
to get
kinds of
off
people
of.
mad. It's time.
Yeah, and I
Watch a
will
commercial.
say this, that employers have to pay into a trust fund for that. So
Sure.
it's not totally government subsidized as is Social Security. They call it an entitlement, but the reality of the matter
worked
is
for my Social
exactly
Security. I
the
had a
reality
job,
is you had
yeah.
that deducted from your check all your life,
Sure.
and your
deserve it,
employer
exactly.
matched that. So you know,
Yeah,
if
that's
the
a
government
different thing.
mismanaged the fund, it's really not your fault, in my opinion.
No,
So-
not at all. Not at all. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back with today's show. Don't you go away, because we're going to have big time.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay, bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want. So you can bank when, where, and how you want. At our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
What is Rotary? We're a network of people like you. In fact, we're the original social network. More than 1 million of us live just about everywhere you can think of. And we mean everywhere. We get together to exchange ideas, grow our businesses, and make new friends. We volunteer to help our own communities or someone else's. We're right around the corner. Come join us. The name is Rotary. Rotary International. You're welcome.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm proud to introduce this lady that's here with me today because she is a poet. And I'm a poet, too, of sorts, but she's published, and she's here to talk about poetry and how you get from the paper, the page, to the book, Out of Your Mind to the Page. That's Miss Karen Nelson. She's here with us this morning. And good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm
That's
great.
a lovely jacket.
Thank you.
Not Dead Poets Society.
Yes, I'm the sort of the chief exercise provider and program manager for the Not Yet Dead Poets Society. We meet at Celtic Cup in Tullahoma on Thursdays from 6 to 8, and whoever wants to come is welcome. And I
Wonderful.
provide exercises, and then they write poems, and we read what we've written out loud.
And about how many people come to these?
I'd say we average about 10 to 12 people a week.
Oh, that's good.
We meet every week, which is a very good amount for poetry groups. Usually they only meet once a month, and they don't have that consistent population.
Well, what started you into writing?
I took a writing class in college, and I'd been out of college for several years, but the teacher gave us blocks of words on a page, so we could pick a word from this box and a word from this and a word from this and make a poem. And
Really?
so just doing that, I discovered I could write poetry. But it takes many years to develop your own, what they call voice, your unique voice, so that if
Right.
I read one of my poems, you would know that I had written it. That technique takes a long, long time. I've been writing poetry since the 70s. And being in poetry groups and doing readings and hanging out with people who love poetry. All of those things go together, mesh together to make your voice unique and your
Right.
know yourself.
Your
as a poet.
experience.
Yes.
Your experience has a lot
You go
to do
through a
with
period of not wanting to tell anybody you're a poet, because what do you do? And you say, I'm a poet, and they look at you again and they say, what do you do? And I say, I'm a poet. It takes them a hard time to grasp that concept.
Well, where do you get your inspiration?
Well, my inspiration comes from many sources. As a Christian, I know my inspiration comes from the Lord. And then walking out in nature, I get inspiration. I'll see a tree or a bird or some. A friend and I saw a seagull trying to eat a starfish at the Monterey Wharf. So that will inevitably inspire a poem. And then watching children and my grandchildren, I've written a lot about them. A lot of different relationships I have with friends inspires poetry. You just never know when you're going to be inspired. You can be walking down the street not even thinking about poetry, and you see something.
Yes.
And then it starts the train. One poem that I wrote it was in my head for about 5 years before I actually wrote it. So sometimes you're just a collector. As a poet, you're a collector of images and sounds. And then also I read books on, exercise books about poetry. They give you, well, do this and try this in your poem.
To increase your skill in your craft.
Yes, and meeting with other poets is really essential, and having somebody who can critique your poetry. My husband functions wonderfully as my editor and my mentor and my patron of the arts. And
Right.
without him, I'd be probably out there doing something other than poetry. So, and he just learned how to edit it by listening to poems over the years. You know, he kind of knows where I'm going to go wrong. Sometimes it'll be the end line. You know, you might tend to sum everything up for the reader instead of acknowledging that the reader can figure that out for themselves if you've done a good job in the rest of the poem. And so that's those places, he'll catch where you just take off the last line and you've got the poem.
And one of the things I feel I'm guilty of in my writing is it's very easy to be too wordy.
Yes. Well, I tell my students it's the verbs that interesting verbs give your poem that action and energy. Beginning poets tend to want to clot the paper with adjectives, just one adjective after another, and pretty soon it becomes very laborious to read. So the trick is to look for action, verbs.
Well, that's good. That's a very good suggestion.
And I brought several poems. This is my third book, Learn What Nothing Means.
Learn What Nothing Means.
And my grandchildren did the front cover and the back cover.
Isn't that great?
And the poem I thought I would read is, it's a funny poem, but it utilizes sounds. Poetry is all about sound. And once you get started with a certain sound, then you can it'll just roll off your tongue and roll out of your head, and you can get a poem.
Okay.
And the assignment was to write about something that you see every day. My instructor said there's things we see, but we don't really acknowledge them because we're too busy. We just go by them. We pass them every day. And one thing that in my house that's there every day is clutter.
Okay.
So I thought, well, that would be a good
Well, tell me about
subject.
clutter.
Yeah, I'll tell you about clutter. And I named the poem The McClutters. And that's my husband and I, we're the McClutters. And we call each other now by Mrs. McClutter and Mr. McClutter. Mrs. McClutter mutters about the clutter she never noticed before. Mr. McClutter saw the clutter before Mrs. McClutter pulled his cigar cutter from Mr. McClutter's clutter. She also found his stone cutter and golf putter. He didn't stutter when she pointed out his perennial clutter. His, she adds, pointing at more clutter. He mutters, "Don't bother me with clutter, Mrs. McClutter, when you clutter more than Mr. McClutter clutters. I found your camera shutter, your butter cutter, and your bird's utter flutter. Don't stutter or try to butter me up, Mrs. McClutter. You're smooth as butter. I will shut the shutters so Reverend McNutter won't see your eyelids flutter when he comes for his annual visit." So as you can see, this poem utilizes sound.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a tongue twister sort of poem.
Right.
Like poems from the book Where the Sidewalk Ends and Light in the Attic and all of that. But it was so much fun to write, and I started looking for lists, and I use a thesaurus helps, where you look up a word and you get a lot of other words that mean the same thing. And sometimes just reading it over and over again, you'll get new ideas and ways to expand it. Revision is a real critical thing in writing, not only poetry, but all kinds of writing. The first draft of a poem is more of inspiration and fun and not too serious. And then the revisions really tighten the poem and make it work and kind of make it jump alive. And I love doing revisions. That's my favorite thing. And
Do you have a poem called Revisions?
I don't.
There you go.
So there's an idea for a poem. See, I just came here today, and now I have another idea for a poem. And talking about collecting ideas, I was in San Diego with my grandson. We went to the zoo, and he saw a peacock. And he was so entranced with that peacock, he just wanted to follow it, wherever it went on the sidewalk. Well, then I was home here at the Celtic Cup, and a woman came and spoke about some engravings that the monks had done. And they said the peacock was a symbol for Christ.
Really?
Yeah, so I thought, well, there's another idea for a poem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, do you keep how do you keep a book?
Yeah.
Do you have a tablet or something where you go, okay, write ideas down. This is stuff that I want to think about down the road when you get an idea. Because sometimes I do that, but it seems like things strike me when I'm driving.
Oh, yeah, I've heard people say that.
And sometimes you can't write it down, and you try to get it in your head what you want it to be, but then when you get to a piece of paper somewhere, it just never, sort of like when you dream. You dream and you think you have a great idea, and you wake up in the middle of the night and try to write it down, and the writing goes away to nothing, and in the morning it's just a bunch of gibberish.
Well, I don't write while I drive because I can barely drive. I'd be a menace to the population here. But I have journals. In fact, I've been cleaning out I have a whole box full of journals, and that's generally how I get started. I write in a journal. It's real wordy, and I just write as much as I can, say for 5 or 10 minutes without stopping. And then when I give exercises to the classes I teach, then I write with them. When they write in class, I write in class. So that gives me more material. And then I'll just go through journals sometimes, just start going through until I see something that I can see it's almost a complete poem, but it just needs some revision, and I have to, type it up and
tighten it up.
Tighten it. Yeah, tightening is always.
Well, do you have something else you'd like to read for us?
Yes, this poem is called "My Love Affair with Popcorn."
Love Affair with Popcorn. I believe I've had one of those before.
Yes, let's see. 19, page 19.
And where can someone buy your books?
Through my email address. And would you like me to give you the...
Yeah, you can do that now or after you read the poem, either one.
It's called My Love Affair with Popcorn. You've been there for me, warm to my finger's touch, easy to snatch from the bowl and devour, lovely to rest on my tongue before the final crunch. Popcorn, your buttery smell, my initial attraction, wafting down the block from the movie theater. Your aroma, the reason I stay attracted, hurrying to buy you hot and popping to overflowing, exploding from the stainless steel popper. The first piece I place on my tongue, warmer, saltier, more evocative than a first kiss, waiting to be tasted, crunched, there for me to fondly press against the bowl's curved edges, easy to scoop with my fingers, let bump against my teeth, like his teeth bumped against mine that first time.
Well, that's pretty. That's good.
Yeah,
Very good.
that was most of my friends. That's one of their favorite poems. Is that one?
Popcorn.
Yes.
Because we all like popcorn.
Our pastor was talking about adulterous affairs one Sunday, and how you needed to end them. So I wrote him this poem and sent him the poem. I said, "Was this poem okay?" He said, "Yes, I think it'll pass." He said, "Have a great day."
That's good. That's good. What is that now? Again, about locating your
email
works?
address.
Email address.
Yes, it's krnelson63@charter.net.
krnelson63@charter.net. And you have 3 books. What are the other 2 books titles?
One is I haven't thought about those other 2 books for a long time. The Woman You Think I Am.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's interesting.
The Woman You Think I Am, and let's see. I'll have to look in here and see.
Well,
I'm having a senior moment.
There's nothing wrong with that.
We all have them, right?
Yes, and
sometimes. Wise Woman and Her Co-Pilot.
Right.
And my grandson thought of that title. We were camping, and I took him out in the morning for a treat, and we came back, and my husband was cooking breakfast. And he watched my husband for a while, and then he said, "You're the wise woman, I'm the co-pilot, and he's the maid." So there was born a title.
There was born a title. That's right. Well, thank you for being here with us today.
It was
we'll tell everybody again. Now that's at the Celtic Cup is
every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
And upstairs.
Upstairs.
And we write and read, and you can bring something you've written if you want to.
Okay.
To read to the group.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Karen Nelson. And there that is on the screen right there. K. Nelson. KR Nelson 63@charter.net.
63 is the year we were married.
Really?
50 years this
Good
December.
for you. The maid's hung out pretty long,
yeah,
hasn't he?
He has. He gets more responsibilities every day.
Thank you, Karen, for being with us.
It was delightful.
And we'll be back, folks, right after these messages.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Your family's favorite show shouldn't have to fight to be seen. With Charter, you get 4 DVRs, so now every family member can watch what they want, when they want, where they want, without any battles. Call now to get DVR service for your home.
Welcome back. I am on the set today with Tullahoma High School sophomore Macy Marin.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Because you used to clog on My Country Show, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am, I did. It's been a few years,
we're hoping you might just jump back in there and do that again. You're here today just to get your feet in the door.
Right, just to see what y'all are doing.
To see what we're doing.
Yes,
and you're interested in news.
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
correct?
Broadcasting.
Have you done it yet?
I have. I do the news leader on 6 Saturdays.
Oh, okay. What time does that come on?
I think it comes on 6 o'clock at night.
All right. Be sure and watch Macy on the news at 6 o'clock on Saturdays. What got you interested in that?
Well, I know Bob. He goes to my church, and he was kind of telling me about it, and I've watched y'all on television with my mom and stuff, and I thought it was really neat. And I knew a lot of older girls that also did it that went to my school, and I looked up to them, and I thought, oh, that's cool. I want to do that.
Well, I think you have to have a vested interest in the news.
Right.
Do you find yourself reading a certain type of news?
I think I like watching the news. I don't know. I do like reading the paper, Tullahoma paper, because I get to know what's going on. And also I have a school paper, and I like reading that because it tells what goes on around our school and stuff.
Yeah. And so if you were going to pick a subject, do you know what it would be?
I think it would probably be sports.
Sports?
I love sports.
And you play soccer, right?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How'd your team do this year?
We did pretty well. We came second in our district.
Fantastic,
So,
yeah.
It's fun.
So have you been playing soccer since you were little?
I have been, and I play all year round now. I play on a select team and our school team.
Oh, good.
It's fun.
Keeps you in beautiful shape.
Right.
And that's nice. And that's nice. And so you like to cover sports.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
So do you have a particular sport that interests you more than the
Well,
others?
I love playing soccer, but I think if I was going to do the news for something, I think I would want to do football or baseball probably, because those are just really, they're like going, and you have to be on top of it
you
and stuff.
have to be on top of it all the time,
Right.
I think, yeah. And you have a brother that plays sports.
Yes, ma'am.
What does he play?
He plays he plays baseball, football, basketball, soccer, and he runs track.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, he's still in middle school right now, so he's going to have
That's
to
amazing.
choose. Right, but he is awesome at all of them. So.
I'm not surprised. And he's in middle, will he go to high school next year?
No, ma'am, he's in 6th grade still.
6th grade.
So he's getting
and
to
all
do
those
all of
sports.
this.
That's
right.
wonderful.
I mean, that's in middle school you get to figure out like what you want, and in high school you have to pick. So.
Yeah. So you're at Tullahoma High School. Do you have any bullying at your school these days?
I think we do. A lot of the people that I hang out with, that I surround myself with, we don't experience that as much, but we do experience just being in the cafeteria and there be a fight break out, or you see stuff on Facebook where people are just being mean to each other.
That's something I really don't understand. I think social media is good to a degree, but if it becomes debasing sometimes, and that worries me a bit.
People don't understand that your job, like if you're going in for a job, your bosses can look on your Facebook and they can see all the stuff that you're saying, and that's how a lot of people don't get hired now.
No big secrets anymore.
Right. If you put it on there, it's going to stay there.
You know, there was recently in the news the 2 young men in high school that had raped and then put on the media.
Right, were they football players?
Pictures, yes.
Yes, we talked about this in English
and
one day.
I believe that they were convicted, and I'm not sure exactly what they served, but how do you feel about that?
I think it's awful. I've heard that, I think there's a lot of videos that people have just sat there and they watched it and they just took videos of it just to put on the internet. And I'm like, if you can sit there and take a video of it, you can stop it, you know?
That's what, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I think the biggest thing that bothers me is, do people not step up anymore?
Right. And some people don't.
Do you think you would?
I think, oh, of course I would. That is awful. That's horrible for that to happen. And you sit there and watch it.
That's what scares me, I think, that I wouldn't say in my head that those were just totally mean people. Something has happened in their lives to call them to be apathetic.
Right. I mean, maybe they thought what those guys were doing was cool and they didn't want to stand up. That happens a lot now. People don't want to stand up for what's right because they think people are going to think less of them.
They're not cool, yeah.
Right.
They'll think that, well, if I'm going to
there goes their popularity.
be accepted,
right.
well, I need to do what the masses are doing. And I'm glad to know that you're not that way.
Of course.
And I think there's a great majority of students that are not that way, that will step up. And I'd like to see more reporting done on those kind of activities, because often we hear the bad news, but we don't hear the good news.
Right.
So when you start doing when you do the news here, do they just hand it to you what you're supposed to read, or do you go out and snoop it out?
Well, We do have a script usually, but lately I'm a cheerleader at Tullahoma High School, and so we had the basketball tournaments going on, the district play, and our boys went pretty far, and they won our district. And what I did was before every Saturday morning, I would write down the scores after the game when I cheered, and I would bring them back, and we would put them in our news feed, and we'd type them in. So yeah, I did that.
So you got to do that.
Yes, ma'am. That was fun.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And do you find yourself, when you are observing, because you're interested in sports, obviously, do you find yourself anxious to report it?
One of my role models is Erin Andrews, and she does that, and she's on sidelines. And when I watch her, I think of like what she says and what she does, and then when I'm like cheering or whatever, I'll be like, oh, I could say this about that, or you know, you find yourself thinking about that.
So have you been a cheerleader ever since you've been in high school?
Yes, ma'am. I cheered on the freshman squad, and then last year I made the varsity squad.
So you all have a great cheering team.
We do.
And they're nice girls.
They are.
And I know.
And a lot of them. Leslie Hull was our captain this year, and she does the news too here. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, Mr. Bob Payne knows how to pick
I know, he does.
He's got his eye out for all the good people, and that makes me proud. It makes me proud of all the things that you have done and are continuing to do. So when you get out of high school, you're going to pursue a career in broadcasting?
That's what I want to do right now. I mean, I've changed a lot, but I definitely want to do something in sports, and I think broadcasting is something that I already do now, and I love it.
Sure.
So, I mean,
well, and so why not continue?
Right, exactly.
Katie Couric's going to get old and move on. You can just go in there and whisk up her job.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Or who would be your favorite personality on TV right now that does reporting or
I think
talk shows or whatever?
Katie Couric is definitely awesome, and I love watching her. But in the field of sports, I think Erin Andrews, because she is just gone. She used to work for ESPN, and now she's Fox. But I mean, everyone knows her. And
for a long time, you didn't see girls doing that.
Right, exactly.
And that makes you feel good because there's a place now, and
for girls to
it's wide open for young women to jump in there and do whatever they want to do. So, any last words you want to say to the public out there? You want to say hello to your mom?
Of course. Hey, Mom.
Anyway, we'll be looking forward to seeing you on the news.
Right. Yeah,
and,
check it out.
Make sure everybody watches on Saturdays when Macy does the news. And thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
And we'll look forward to watching you throughout the ages. We'll be back with more of Living.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
If you like HDTV, you're going to like what Charter's been up to. Adding so much free HD that Charter TV is a whole new experience. National Geographic HD, Animal Planet HD, Discovery HD, Sports in HD, movies, news, kids programming. Plus, Charter now has thousands of free movies and shows in HD on demand anytime. You want to see more TV in HD? Try Charter. It's smarter.
Weekend especially for our friends in Shelbyville, because the Tennessee Walking Horse show season kicked off this past weekend with the Trainers Show in Shelbyville. That was a 3-day show, tremendously successful, so it bodes well for that industry as we go into the 2013 season. And I think our Jerry Harris spoke with Benny Johnson, and Benny is the chairman of this year's Trainers Show in Shelbyville. Well, let's watch that interview.
I'm here with Benny Johnson, the chairman of the show chairman for the Trainers, and you've been doing this for
41 years.
41 years you've been doing it. Y'all having a great show, Benny.
Well, we appreciate it. Trainers has brought their horses, worked all winter real hard and tried different methods of training and everything. It looks like it's all paid off, and everything's been good so far.
Just under 600 horses, and tonight we got a large, very large crowd, and I'm just tickled for you. I'm happy for the trainers, and I'm happy for the association. Jeff's doing good with his silent auction back here.
Well, was checking after last night. We got in here today, and after we got our entries in, and some are still waiting to enter into the championship class, we figured it up. This year, we've had more this year than we have in 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah, 12 years since we had this. And the crowd is up about, we figured about 25% from year before last time that we were here in Shelbyville.
Well, I know Friday in Shelbyville after Thursday night, the buzz was how great the trainers show was. And then Thursday night you had far more people than Friday night you had more people than Thursday night. And tonight you've got more people. I talked to one gentleman that was home, watched it in Georgia on the internet, and said, I'm going to Shelby. So now he's up here watching it live.
Yeah, we have, of course, we live in Virginia, and I had a lady, a good friend of ours, Barbara Dean, we call her Bitch. She called just about 45 minutes ago, and she's watching it on the internet and was congratulating us on what a great show we was having. And she used to come to the trainer show all the time, and she realized how much more horses we have, but the people here in town, they have a new motel here, the Microtel. They jumped in and become a corporate sponsor with us, and went and seen him today about things, and he said he was filled up, and at the Huddle houses next door to him, they're a big sponsor of ours, and then they give us coupons, several restaurants here in town where you can go eat,
Right.
And they said, I went by El Mexico today just to check and see if they were happy with what was going on, and their place was full at lunch. And of course, they have a lot of horse trainer business anyhow all year round. But this is the most excitement I've seen in Shelbyville over this horse show in many a year.
In a long
and I want to say one thing: the city of Shelbyville is a corporate sponsor, and also the county. Bedford County I went to their board meeting and the chamber meeting and everything, and both of them, this is the first time the county has, but they became a corporate sponsor, and so things are really looking up, and if we can keep everything together, I think you'll see a bigger show next year.
I think it'll be bigger next year, and I think the shows this year are going to be bigger.
I think this show here will help the fun show, help the celebration.
It will.
Help the one-night shows. When it starts off good, the trainers get a good feeling about everything, especially when their horses work good like they have here.
Oh, man.
And then, the owners that didn't come to this show,
hey,
they're going to come next time.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you, Benny, these trainers have really stepped up. I know it's taken a lot of hard work. That I know because I talked to a lot of them. But believe me, these trainers have stepped forward. They've worked together, and my hat goes off to them because they're showing what they can do.
That's true. And at the board meeting the other day, I talked to the board before the general membership meeting and gave them a report on where we stood financially with the horse show. And of course, we're going to do the Gulf Coast Charity Trainer Show down there in April. And I was giving them the update, and then I did at the general membership meeting. And I asked them, I said, the success of this show will be what y'all do.
Right.
And it's y'all's show, and our success will be up to y'all.
Yeah.
I said the frame of mind that the Department of Agriculture will be in is what y'all do and how you present these horses. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care who says what. I've seen it for myself. These horses are 110% in compliance.
That's a fact.
Everybody should commend the trainers when you see them. And I want our trainers, when they see the business people in this town, to thank them for being a sponsor for us because they've brought us back.
you've won just about everything there is to win in racing. What's next?
I'd like more people to know about ER Extra.
The emergency room at Harton Regional Medical Center?
I just want them to get the best care they can get.
That just gets me right here, Mark.
Maybe you'd like to pay them a visit.
ER Extra at Harton Regional Medical Center.
ER Extra. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Click the links.
Oh, sweet Lisa, you're so fine, like a very fine wine. Girl, I need you in my life. Will you be my wife?
Charter Internet has more bandwidth to support all your devices. Experience the power of Charter on the nation's fastest internet.
Welcome back to Living, and let's get ready for Easter. I have on the set with me today my good friend Patty Wimsatt and Miss Jennifer Denby, the daughter of Joe Denby, who has decided that nothing will stop until he gets 10,000 Easter eggs thrown out ready to have kids hunt for.
That's right.
When is that, Patty?
On March 31st at Wagner Park here in Tullahoma.
That's Easter Sunday, actually, right?
Easter. No, I said the 31st. I'm sorry.
It's the 30th.
It's the 30th.
Yes. Which is Saturday.
The 30th. It'll be a basically all afternoon event at Wagner Park.
Starts at
11. Well, it's a family event for adults and kids. So actually, a horseshoe tournament starts at 10.
Okay.
And kid activities and family activities will all start at 11, and it'll wind down about 3 o'clock.
And I think the bottom line, this is a big family event. We encourage entire families.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And the hunting of eggs starts at what time?
It starts at 1 o'clock, and then they're going to divide it up in different age groups.
Right.
For
I
the
had
Easter
wondered
egg hunt.
if you had an age limit.
No, they're just going to divide it up in different age groups for
So
the
your
smaller
grandma can
kids. She wants to get out there, she can.
Okay.
They're just going to divide it up so it's fair for the little ones and older ones.
And I suppose there's prizes.
There is.
What are some of the prizes?
Oh, Lord, there's a long list of prizes.
That is what is so magnificent with this, because Joe themed it pulling the community together.
Now let's tell what Joe's business is in case people don't really know.
Joe Denby and is a couple facets of business, but I work for A+ Moving and Storage, and so does Jennifer as a family member.
Yeah.
And Joe's from a large family, so a lot of activities they had to do close to home. But he feels that he has been so blessed in the progress of his businesses. You know, he drives the truck, Jennifer rides, Jennifer works, but they see the country.
Yeah.
And he feels our community should have more local events that are quality and constructive for
That
children
involve the
and
family.
oriented. And he just came in one day and said, I'm going to have 10,000 Easter eggs. Do you think we can pull this off?
And you said, well, yes, because what else would you say if you're Patty Wim said, right?
And his enthusiasm was with minimal contributions from merchants, individuals,
I noticed
in-kind
that long
donations.
list of people that had contributed.
Yes,
and at some point we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, but he set out to do it, and we have had absolutely an outpouring of
That's
support.
Wonderful. This is a great community for things like this, and I'm glad to hear that something that involves the entire family, because so many times we don't have that.
No, and his goal is that with the hard work he's put into this and the success we hope it will have with good weather and such on a Saturday, that something else might come up, you know, soon.
I love the idea of
again.
the cornhole contest.
Yes, and at 2:30.
That's at 2:30.
There will be a cornhole contest, and there are prizes to that. I think with
and
each
if you
of
don't
those.
know what a cornhole is.
All I know is it's a long board with holes in it, and the enthusiasts for throwing cornholes. So, but there is $350 to win in the horseshoe tournament, and there's
Wonderful.
$350 to win in the cornhole contest.
That's awesome. If you don't know where Wagner Park is, it's 1300 East Carroll Street. Some people don't know.
Right on State Route 55
we have
coming
people
in.
watching this in a lot of different towns, and they may not exactly know where Wagner Park is, because you invite not just Tullahoma, right? But anybody that wants to come?
Anybody that wants to come.
Can come, and I can't imagine 10,000 Easter eggs, and I just want to know who's hiding those Easter eggs.
Well,
the volunteers.
Yeah, the volunteers and
the families
and stuff. Yeah.
So maybe in the area where the babies can hunt, it'll be a little easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll find the eggs easier, and then they'll get a little more difficult and more difficult. Is there like a golden egg? Is that what the prize becomes? Or?
Joe Demby is in charge of that.
Okay, he'll let us know,
And
right?
yes, he has already told me those eggs are going to be stuffed with all different golden
You know,
surprises.
I always wondered, at an Easter egg hunt, are you supposed to bring your own basket or your own bag?
I would say at this one it would be a good idea to bring your own basket or bag.
Right.
And
wear your walking shoes?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, because it is an afternoon of events. Once 11 o'clock, when the kids can gather and everything for the activities. Jennifer's got a list of games here. She can rattle some of them off because it keeps growing and growing.
I know.
Every day gets more.
Yeah. We've got face painting, the stand-up photo station. We've got an Easter bunny coming out, a duck pond.
Oh, so you can do pictures with the Easter bunny.
Mm-hmm.
What fun.
Yeah. We've got bottle ring toss, football toss, pirate barrel toss, Easter disc drop game, 3 in a row carnival game, the bubble ball count, pencil count, the potato sack, Easter egg toss, jump rope, limbo. And
I'm going to assume that it's going to take a big bunch of volunteers. Do you have all the help you need? Are you looking for volunteers?
We can always use volunteers because, as we said, if a child plays a game, they won't go away without a prize.
Right.
Whether they win or they don't win. So
everybody gets a prize.
We need people to man the stations.
That is absolutely beautiful. I love that. I kind of was thinking, since it starts at 10 and goes till about 3. Is there food for sale, or will there be vendors? There
will be vendors there for food for the day.
And drinks.
Drinks and such, so that will be available.
So you're not necessarily encouraging people to bring their picnics or...
No, but they can if they wish. If it's a large family,
bring a
they
blanket,
can be
throw it on the ground over here.
It's in the
if you
park.
get tired, take a nap.
Yeah, that's it, because it's a full day of activities.
I think it's exciting. I can't believe that somebody has gone to the trouble to do such a wonderful thing with 10,000 Easter eggs, and a host of maybe 100 people helping.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's something he's always wanted to do.
You must have a nice dad.
Yeah.
How many kids are in the family?
We've got me, my sister, and then my stepbrother.
And your stepbrother, and so your dad has always been instrumental, I'll bet, in seeing that you did things together.
Yes, we always like to do things together. He always wants the family together, even if it's just sitting around watching a movie or something.
You all watch the same movie.
Right.
I think that's kind of nice. Because, you know, and oftentimes you go in somebody's home and there's a group over here doing, you know, games on the TV, and then in another room somebody else, and they're spread out all over. And
Right.
I think that's valuable family time that's being missed sometimes.
Yes, it is.
And this activity that you're doing, and let's don't forget, it's March 30th, Saturday, the day before Easter.
Yes.
And come rain or come shine, I'm going to love you.
We're going to try.
We'll
yes.
try.
And time, the activities will be there.
Yeah.
We'll adjust as the week
Adjust
goes on
as
and
the
the
week goes
forecast
on.
comes out.
And
yes.
I mean, I suppose if there's a horrendous downpour, then some kind of arrangement will be made. But I thought this $350 to win the cornhole contest and then the horseshoe tournament, $350. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be practicing up.
It's just, what has been so amazing, though,
Don't we have a
is-
little film we're supposed to show?
Well, if Bob, your wonderful cameraman, has the PowerPoint available,
There
we'd
we
like
go.
to, because the list of outpour in the community of financial supporters and everything keeps growing and growing, and we told them we will have your name displayed at the activities.
And you could
this
take more,
added
couldn't
this
you?
morning on top of this PowerPoint. Dairy Queen this morning brought in gift cards. La Trosa's Mexican
That's
Restaurant.
awesome.
Tullahoma Bowling Lanes. Lady of her various Girl Scout groups where they had leftover surplus and things brought in color boards that we can set up kids' activities if
That's
anybody that'd like to
wonderful.
color. I mean, it's just been pouring in, whether it's in kind, monetary. And Joe, as he went out through the community, said $150 will do it. He wasn't asking for
For huge,
$1,000.
yeah.
Right.
You know.
So the thing to remember, if you all live through this, you think something like this will happen again?
We hope to.
We
I
hope
think it
to.
will, and I think I just have to compliment you. Tell your dad how wonderful I think he is
All
to have
right.
headed this up. So don't forget, March 30th, Wagner Park starts at 10 o'clock. Bring your bring your mom and them, right?
Yeah.
And
Bring them all.
If anybody'd like to call us for more information,
Oh, okay.
it is being broadcast. Charter has picked it. You know, you have it on
Charter
Channel
does
6,
great
and it's on
things.
radio station. But you can call 461-0017 if you would like to help us out, volunteer, or if you need any more information about details of the event.
That's great. Jennifer, so glad you came. Patty, love you. Good to see
Thank you.
We'll look for you with more on living.
Reviverse Ministry and the Genesis 2013 The Rocks Cry Out Seminar, please visit our website, www.gracechapeltullahoma.com.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
The Charter Triple Play lets you experience TV, internet, and phone the way you want with no contracts. Hooked on HD? Now over 100 HD channels available. Movie lover? Get 10,000 on-demand movies and shows. 1,500 in HD, including movies in 3D. Missing your favorite shows? Record and watch TV with DVR service for 4 rooms and over 780 hours of storage space. Get Charter TV for $29.99 a month. Photo fiend, music fan, video streamer? Switch to super fast Charter Internet and do it all with the bandwidth to support all your devices. At 30 megabits per second, Charter Internet is 10 times faster than the phone company's DSL. Get Charter Internet for $29.99 a month. Want more talk for less? Charter Phone has unlimited long-distance calling with no added fees like the phone company charges. Get Charter Phone for $29.99 a month. The new Charter Triple Play. TV, internet, and phone for just $29.99 a month each when bundled. Call 855-81-T-PLAY now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm pleased to have joining me on the set now two people. Macy Marin has come back to help us host this segment right here. We're pleased to have Macy back with us, and also we're very pleased to have Ellen Stower with us today.
Stowers.
Stowers. Okay.
Yes, sorry.
They gave me the wrong information over there. I apologize.
No.
Okay. And you are the assistant coordinator or assistant director at Contact Lifeline here in Tullahoma.
Yes.
Which is something that's hugely important to our community. But in case there are people out there that don't know what you do, tell us a little bit about what happens at Contact Lifeline.
We are a 24-hour crisis line. People can call in when they just need someone to talk to. We take suicide phone calls, those from depressed, lonely. And then we also have a reassurance program, which is for our elderly or homebound, living in a nursing home, whichever. We call them once a day to prescribe time, talk to them. And then we also have a teen-to-teen line. I keep looking at her, but which is where our teens come in after high school and man our phone lines and talk to others. Just it gives the teens some place to call in and talk to as well. And then we have our Contact There program, which is for our elementary to middle school students. They can call in. You know, mom and dad left them at home for like 5-10 minutes. Then they have a place to call. A couple of weeks ago, I had a little boy call in and tell me that his mom needs to pick milk up at the grocery store. Okay, do you have mom's number? I'll give her a call. But I mean, it's interesting the phone calls that we get in. So they're free to the public.
That part that you're talking about now, I had not heard that before.
The Contact There?
Yeah.
It's one of our new programs. It used to be there a long time ago when we had the latchkey kids. It was what it was for.
Okay, right. I remember
And then it kind of died away because, you know, DCS standards and things like that. So we've worked really hard to get back up to DCS standards. Children aren't supposed to be left alone under the age of 12. So that's what, you know, we try to give you 5-10 minutes, got to run to the grocery store and come right back. Or a child needs help with homework, mom, dad don't understand A plus B equals D or whatever. The new algebraic math that they're teaching in elementary school is like, I didn't know there was letters in math, but that's okay. So, you know, it's one of the things that our teens actually help, you know, they help man that line as well. So, you know, they're more up to date with
How long? I haven't ever heard of the teen program before today. So how long has that been a part? Like, how long have y'all been doing that?
We've reopened our teen program about 2 years ago.
Okay.
We kind of all the programs were kind of volunteers dropped out. You know, our students were graduating, going to high school or going to college, and nobody was coming back in. And 2 years ago, whenever our new board of directors took over, they decided, hey, this is a program we offered, we're going to offer it back. So
okay. And if you want to become a part of like the teen program, I know I'm interested. How does that happen? How do you get?
Well, we've got, if you're a THS student, we have our two teen coordinators, which is Ashley Kazmark and Susanna Price. Just talk to them, and they can give you the number to call, or you can call us direct at 455-7150.
Okay.
And you know, you just say, hey, you want to volunteer, and come on in.
That's awesome.
So it's.
You mentioned that this is 24/7.
24/7.
How many people does it take to make that happen? And I think they're volunteers, right?
Everybody is volunteer. Right now, we're 100% volunteer. Even our executive director is volunteering his time. We have about 20 people that routinely come in on a regular basis to volunteer, but we have 75 volunteers on staff. We have our support workers where if a call comes in and it's over a volunteer's head, they have someone that they can call and say, hey, I need help. This one's too tough for me. So we even count them. Right now, our rollover is manned. We've got 3 people that will take calls from 4 p.m. to 10 a.m. on a routine basis. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
What sort of training does it take to be able to be a part of that?
We have a 24-hour training session where you learn everything from active listening to more on depression, how to handle suicide calls. It's a whole wide variety. We have you get the history of Contact, where we started from. It started in Australia and migrated to the States. And then we have, there's 8 or 9 topics that we go through, but it's 24-hour total training that you go through, and then you have to do a 12-hour apprenticeship where you're working side by side with an already trained volunteer. That way, if you have a question, you can ask them, or if you're on the phone and have something, you can just jot down a little note, how do I handle this?
You mentioned, you and Macy were talking about the teens. Do they go through that same training?
It's the same program. That way, we're all on the same level of training. So,
okay.
And we do right now, we have what we consider continuous training, where if you call in, say you want to volunteer, we set you up a training immediately. You can come into the office, or you can even do it as a take-home. We have everything on YouTube, videos, and then you can work on it on your own time and come in if you have questions.
So will the teens always be talking to the teens and the elderly to the elderly, or is it different?
Right now, when the teens are on shift, they just answer all the phone calls.
Okay.
Because we are so small right now, the team, because of the training you're going through, you can actually
handle both.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
interesting. We had a team that handled a very critical phone call. I mean, we credited him for saving 3 lives.
Wow.
So, I mean,
that's awesome.
And I really commend him for it, because he did more than I think I could have personally handled, and handled it like a champ. So it's scary, but
that's really phenomenal. How many days a week do the teens usually
The teens, we let them come in 7 days a week, but it's always around their schedule. Right now, it's routinely Sundays and Tuesdays. If they don't have a sport or something going on after school, they'll call on the phone and say, hey, I'm coming in. A lot of times it's last minute notice. If I don't have anything going on, I'm like, okay, y'all come on in, I'm staying. I'll just go ahead and stay, because we have to have an adult in there with them. They're not allowed in there by themselves. So it's...
Do you find that teens are more comfortable talking with a person their own age?
They are. For the teens that call in, they do find it more comfortable to be able to talk to a peer instead of trying to confide to an adult that they don't know, or even to mom and dad. And with what we do when we have a teen call in, we do encourage it. We try to encourage them to open that communication with their parent, or some school official or someone.
You mentioned you also call and do welfare checks on the elderly. I would imagine sometimes that might be the only contact they have.
A lot of times that is. It's we have a lady who's on our books from Bedford County who's 100 years old. She's still living at home by herself. Very functional, but she enjoys our conversations. We call and give her 10 minutes. Now, she has relatives that check in on her throughout the day too, but because she has a habit of falling, it kind of gives them a peace of mind that, hey, if I can't be there on this time and this time, then somebody's going to be calling, checking in. If we don't get her, then we immediately call her back up and get to her. So
you work like several counties. I
we work Bedford, Coffee, Franklin, and Moore County, and we're getting ready to extend into Warren County. That's in the process. So they have the write-up done, so we're going to be taking over Middle Tennessee is what our aim is.
How do these people know where to call? How do they find out about you?
We have ads in the paper. We have pamphlets that we've kind of plastered all over the place. But we have a local number in each one of the counties. Like Bedford County is 684-7133, and then Coffee is 455-7133 for the crisis line. Franklin County is 967-7133, and Moore is 796. That's the number that. Right. But it's 796-7133. So.
I would imagine if somebody is possibly going to commit suicide, this is a huge crisis.
It is.
I mean, what do you're actually trained to help with them with that situation?
We're able, through our training, we're able to stop, to calm them down, get them to a place where they're back on the other side of that crisis until we can get mobile crisis or their local authority out to them. We had a gentleman not too long ago who was in the process of cutting himself, and he cut a little deeper than he had intended, and he called us for help. And he was out of a county that we don't even service, but he found our number and he called in, and we were able to get his local authorities to go out there to him.
So as part of your procedure, you have people that you know who to call in those situations.
Mobile Crisis, which is a 1-800 number, it's out of Centerstone. They're one of our primary backups. From what I understand, they actually go out physically to the house. If for some reason we can't get Mobile Crisis, then we call the local police department, and they do go out and be with the person and get them the help that they need.
I've always found what you guys do fascinating, and something that's extremely beneficial to this community. But I'm going to have to talk about your fundraiser now. I'm going to have to move
I can talk about Crisis Line all day.
Yeah, you've got something coming up, and I know it's pretty important to you guys.
On March 23rd, we have a bowling extravaganza. We're working with Tullahoma Lanes, and we're using their all-you-can-bowl-a-thon coupons, and it's $10 a person. You come in, you get to bowl all you want for 2 hours. You got free shoes, free bowling, and then we're going to have prize giveaways throughout the 2-hour period, and then our contact bear will also be there, kind of making his little appearance and entertaining the kids as well.
I didn't know that you had a mascot.
We have a mascot.
Okay.
We have
All
a mascot. He's cute too. So.
And this is one of the fundraisers that you guys do to support what you do, and that's coming up on the
23rd of March.
23rd. That's going to be this Saturday, I believe.
It's next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
It's okay.
Totally. Oh, is it?
I'm sorry, March 28th.
Okay. All right.
That's a whole new day. March 28th. I've got something else going on the 23rd. So.
Well, if it's any comfort to you, most of the times when I say that, 9 times out of 10, I'll be wrong and you'll be wrong.
Well, she said, she backed you up. So.
Okay. So if you want to be a part of that event, you can get tickets from who?
Yeah, just call the number 455-7150 and let them know that you're interested in buying tickets. The tickets are limited, so we need to get them. If you want to reserve tickets, go ahead and call today to get them reserved because they're going fast.
All right, and that's the number we got on the screen there?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm glad we got that one right.
There you go.
All right. Thank you so much for coming by today.
I've enjoyed it
very much. And, you guys just do such a great service to our community. We appreciate it very much. Thank you.
We can do it.
All right, we'll be right back in just a moment, folks, right after these messages.
I thought Red Cross does Katrina. They don't help single moms. What happened to our house last year about your birthday?
It flooded and the water flooded out. Yeah.
The Red Cross arranged the hotel for us. They gave me that break, that leverage to be able to get it together and take care of them, I feel like we've come full circle.
Like that. This is how I'll do it.
There you go.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
A salute to the Never Wasters, the Coupon Clippers, Switch Flippers, One Last Drop of Milk Drippers, the Thoughtfully Thrifty, and the Just Plain Cheap. Charter respects your economic IQ and honors it with a phone service worthy of your ever-watchful wallet. Charter Phone, just $19.99 a month, for real monthly savings for fabulously frugal folks like you. Switch to Charter Phone and get unlimited local and long distance and 13 calling features with no extra fees like the phone company charges you.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm pleased to have with me today Miss Kathy Harris from Duck River Raceway, and it is over close to Lewisburg, and she's right here, and she's a beautiful young lady, and she's going to tell us about a great event that they are having this weekend. And Kathy, how are you this morning?
I am good. How are you?
Good. And where exactly is the track for people who don't know?
We're located on 1100 Haskins Chapel Road, and it's actually, the GPS is Lewisburg, Tennessee, but it's actually in Will, Tennessee. Yeah. So it's between Shelbyville and Lewisburg. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's a great facility and a fun environment.
And how many years have y'all been out there?
Well, the track has been there since 1973, but my husband and I bought it last year at the end of June, so our first race was June 28th of last year.
And had you been interested in racing prior to that, obviously?
My husband had. He has actually formerly owned race teams. So we kind of got out of that because you had to travel so much, and with our busy schedules, he just really didn't get to enjoy it. So this opportunity was kind of a dream of his, but he never pursued it, and it just kind of fell in our lap. And he kind of went for it, so I've been supportive of it.
Well, good for you. Now, you live in Tullahoma.
That's correct.
Your racetrack is in Will.
Correct.
You office in Shelbyville,
Correct.
where you office for the racetrack, and also you have a painting and sandblasting
Yes,
company?
sir. That would be Preferred Sandblasting and Painting.
And
we
that's
do
for
water
like
tanks.
big water tanks and big job.
That
big
is
job
correct.
painting. And is that something that your husband had done prior to?
Yes, he has been in that probably almost over 20 years, almost 30 years, I guess.
So, okay, that's something else. Let's talk about racing.
Okay.
This weekend, you have something special going on.
We do. We have the World Outlaws coming, and this is the first time for them coming to this facility at Duck River. So we're very excited about that because they wouldn't ever even offer to come before. So we're pleased to have them because they are a top-notch racing group. These are the best of the best guys. So it's going to be fast and it's going to be packed.
So that for a non-racing person like me, the World Outlaws. Now this is a bunch of folks who have great cars, and they travel around. Obviously, travel around the nation, going to tracks, and really put on a show for race fans.
Right. This is a series, so they travel. So on Friday, they're actually going to be in Arkansas, and then Saturday, they're going to be in Mississippi. So then on Sunday, they're going to be with us.
And your facility opens up on Sunday at what time?
It opens up at 12. The gates open at 12, and then we will have a driver's meeting at 4 o'clock, and then races start immediately after.
And what's the cost of coming to something like this?
Well, this is a special event, so it is a little bit more. But general admission is $25 for adults, and kids 6 through 12 is $5 for general admission. Then 5 and under is free. And then the pits is $35 for adults, kids 6 to 12 $10, and 5 and under free. And that's for the special events.
Right. So there's an area where you have general population seating, and then you can buy your way into the pit area, of course, which is a closer view, and you get to see. And is that sort of like do they get to interact?
Yes. Well, when they go
before the race.
Yes, and that any time after 12 o'clock they can come in either area. And with the pits, you can see the cars up close, and get to see the drivers. And these are popular drivers that are going to be there for World Outlaw. I mean, not to mention on our regular events, we have some awesome drivers and great guys too.
Okay. Now, this is the World Outlaw event. This is on Sunday. How often do you have races?
We race every Saturday night.
Every Saturday night.
That is correct.
And that race, for folks out here who maybe can't get to this event and want to get over there and see, so every Saturday night, and what are the times? What's the time frame of that?
Right now on Saturday nights we're opening at 12, gates are open at 12, and we're starting the driver's meeting at 3 because of it being cooler and the families coming. So we try to get them out of there before it gets too cold. But more into the summer, it will go to a later time. And we keep our website and our Facebook updated often. We interact, my husband and I both are very active into that. So we do that daily.
All right, and here's a picture of the facility right here and some of the cars and how much seating do you have?
We have about 2,500 right now. That's seating, but in the pits, no one sits down.
Right.
You know, so that is the seating is pretty much the general admission. We do have pit seating, but nobody really sits.
And if you're not in seating, I mean, is it? I noticed fenced area. I mean, do people stand along the fence?
They are not allowed to stand on the fence due to safety, and then we have a second fence keeping them back in the grandstands, but they are allowed to stand because of the way our bleachers are. It allows view. You know, we have added a lot of extras to the track in this winter. I mean, it's been a lot of construction going on, and it's a great facility at this point.
All right, tell us about, see me, what about the food?
Great food. Our concession stand is one of the best that I've ever been to, and we often do different things, specials. We have fish fries sometimes. We have, we'll do turkey and dressing, so it's just, and we have some great cooks, and we're in the South, so the bologna sandwich thing
the bologna sandwich
is, everybody, it is,
Yeah.
and the hamburgers, so we serve really a lot of a little bit of everything, and if we get requests, we will do it.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So again, that's the World Outlaws. This Sunday.
That's correct.
At 12 o'clock.
That's correct.
They can go over there and get in. I hope the rain
We're praying.
We'll back off because they're calling for some rain this weekend maybe, but you never know around here
That's correct.
what that's going to do. And I asked you earlier about with the track where it was, the bad weather that came through yesterday.
Right.
You didn't sustain any damage over there, luckily.
No, we did not. And we have, like I said, done so many improvements on the track. And we have actually a brand new 30 by 50 bathroom facility. So for any woman that goes to a public event, she knows that the bathroom facility is a must. So these are brand new. We have totally renovated the concession stand. We now have a overhang of the tower where people can stand under and sit. We have a brand new playground area for the children and have built a pavilion for the mothers to sit under by the children. So it's our goal, it's a racetrack, and our goal is now for it to be a generational family track where any age can come and it is a safe, controlled environment.
And how much property do you have there?
I could not tell you the exact number. It's several acres. We even go back to the river.
So you have, if in the future this is successful for you, which I'm sure it will be, and hope it will be, then you can maybe do some other things on that property and have that venue be a venue that can be used for multi-purpose.
Absolutely.
Which is wonderful for this whole area to have. I mean, you could have a music event there. You could do all kinds of things.
And we actually did have a concert there at our November 15th race of last year. It was called the Deep Fried 75, and that's going to be an annual. So
the Deep Fried 75.
Right, and it was a $10,000 to win. So we're going to do that annually, and we actually had a concert, and it was a little cold that night, so it didn't have a lot of people to enjoy the concert because it was so cold, you know, because it was in November. But we are looking at that, and we want to get more involved, our community, with churches, church events, you know, the elderly, anything that we can do to accommodate them, to help bring the facility up and to make people come and enjoy it as a family thing. That's what we're wanting to do.
All right, now you said something that race people probably understood just a minute ago, but you said a $10,000 to win.
Yes, sir.
Is that prize money?
Yes, sir. That's first place late model class. He gets $10,000 cash.
And your every weekend races, what type of money is involved in that?
You're looking, we have 7 different classes, and you can get details on our payout on our website at duckriverracewaypark.com. And it varies according to it's a special.
Just a conservative idea.
Yeah, well, you're looking at late model, you're looking around $1,500, $1,200 to $1,500 every Saturday night.
So somebody can carry a car over there and walk away with $1,200 to $1,500 if they're good enough to get it.
In a late model car, yes, sir.
Yeah. So how many races do you have a night?
We have 7 classes at this point.
7 classes, so that's 7 different races.
Yes, 7 different kind of cars.
And man, that's great.
Yeah.
So, folks, remember this. Duck River Speedway in Will, Tennessee. This weekend is going to be the Outlaws, and every weekend is fun. It's family-oriented. The food is good. And obviously the people are pretty good too, and we want you folks to support that. You know, it's something else great going on in our Middle Tennessee area. Entertainment for you right here at home. Kathy, thank you very much.
Thank you
for being with us, and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
And you come back anytime you want to. Okay.
I sure will.
And make a report and let us know what's going on.
I will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one!
Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. this can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
I'd like to take you somewhere, but nobody else can go. Only the two of us know.
With Charter, TV will never be the same. Now you can make a date with your favorite movies and shows anywhere and anytime with on-the-go content from Charter.
I learned something really important from Macy here a moment ago. She tells me that it costs $9 to get in the movies.
It does.
I have not
At the
been in
Tullahoma
the movies
movie
forever.
theater.
I had no idea it was that expensive.
Jimmy, that's the least of it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
popcorn
Corn
costs
is like,
$9.
yes, exactly.
The Coke costs $5. I mean, you, Fran, and I can go to the movie.
For $100.
I mean, it's $35 to go to the movie and eat a bag of popcorn and
Goodness.
drink a Coca-Cola. It's insane.
That tells you how old I am, because it was 50 cents when I was a kid.
I know.
For goodness
I mean, you
sake.
could go all day with $1.
Oh,
Get
it
$1,
wasn't
you
that-
could go out of
it
town.
wasn't that much.
Maybe it was a quarter.
We
I don't
used to
know.
go to the Marshall Theater, pay 50. You could take a quarter and pay 15 cents to get in, and buy a Coke for a nickel, and get Jawbreakers 2 for a penny.
And go out to dinner.
And so you could have 10 Jawbreakers, a Coke, and go to a movie for a quarter.
Well, all I know is comparing this. Last weekend, my granddaughter, who's 10, came to stay with us, and she wanted to go out to dinner, and that was $80. And then on Saturday, she wanted a manicure and a pedicure.
Oh, yes.
my goodness.
And that was $60.
That is expensive.
And I got off the train at that point, so I'm sure they had dinner again.
Yeah. You got off the train, but your wallet didn't get off the train.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, man, this stuff gets expensive these days.
It does.
It does.
Anyway.
To be a girl, huh? How much it
It's
costs
rough,
to be
yep.
a girl.
Yeah, I call that personal maintenance.
Yeah, dresses and shoes, and an old boy, he can just put a pair of blue jeans on and a pair of tennis shoes, and everything's
He's
good.
good to go.
Good
right?
to go. Good to go. Macy, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
thanks. I had fun.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
You're going to have to come back. Are you going to be out of school next week?
I will be.
Are you going to be in town next week?
I will be. I
Well,
think
you need to
Caitlin
come
All's
back.
going to come down
Oh,
here
is
too.
Caitlin coming? Is she
I think
Caitlin
she's
coming?
coming.
Caitlin. Caitlin, not Caleb. Of course, Caleb probably be pretty good.
Oh gosh, he's funny.
But yeah, that's great. So it's glad to have you young people here with us.
Oh, yeah.
And keeping us young as well. We appreciate you very much. And I guess
Time to
we're
go.
done.
We gotta
It's
go.
time to go. So everybody wait. Goodbye, folks. See you next week.